Hello everybody, it's Kim Wilson here. I'm a little early for Lunchtime Live, but I'm going to be leaving for a craft retreat at lunchtime, so I wanted to come a little early, and I have a tip for you today. So you probably heard the news yesterday that Stampin' Up! Is discontinuing the rubber stamps, the red rubber stamps, and we're moving to totally photopolymer because we can't get the supplies to make the red rubber anymore, and so they're going to be slowly phasing out. And then the other news was the storage is going to change, so we no longer need to use the DVD cases because they are quite large, and it takes up a lot less space to use the smaller cases like we currently have our dies in. And then the other news was that the Stampin' Write markers are going to discontinue as well because the alcohol markers have kind of taken over in the industry, just like the photopolymer stamps have taken over in the industry. And now that we don't have the red, or we won't in the future have red rubber, the one technique that these water-based markers are great for is coloring directly onto your stamps, and that won't be as feasible with the photopolymer. It still works, but it's just not as great. So we're just gonna keep plugging along with our alcohol markers, which are just outstanding, and everybody loves those. So these the water-based markers are called Stampin' Write markers, and they just went up into the last chance, and so they will be under special last chance until they run out. I think there's none of them in low inventory yet, so you've got time to think about it if you did want to purchase any of the markers. I would recommend getting the basic black because you can get that by itself and not in a grouping. The basic black marker is nice to have on hand when you have if you still have your rubber stamps that you want to like ink up a sentiment or just partial a stamp inking up. So it's got that nice brush tip, and then it's got a nice writing tip as well. So excuse me, I would grab a couple of those just to have on hand. The black, basic black Stampin' Write marker, it's just $3.50. I keep them in, I packed a couple of them to bring with me to my craft retreat. And we also do have the journaling pen, so if you just want a pen for journaling, then those are going to be available ongoing. So, but if you did want one that had the brush tip on, I would grab that one. It's kind of handy to have on hand. So anyway, I wanted to show you a little tip today because I was packing up for my craft retreat, and I was just thinking, we've been playing around with different storage ideas because the new cases will be very similar to these die cases that we have now, and I've got tons of these die cases. The new one, let me see if I can get the measuring part up here. The new ones are going to be quite a bit longer. This one is 7.5 inches. The new ones are going to be 9 inches long, so 1.5 inches taller this direction, and then just a little bit wider this direction. So this is 5 1/4. The new ones will be, I can't remember exactly the dimension, 5 and something, but it was just a little less than 6, so a fraction of an inch wider, so that they can accommodate some of the larger stamp sets and die sets because they will both be coming in the bigger cases. But I've got tons of these older cases, and I thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice to save room when I'm packing up here for the crop to take some of my photopolymer stamps that I have in the DVD cases, and I really only use these for scrapbooking, so I could just put them in a much smaller footprint in when I pack up. And so this is what I did. And actually I ended up saving 1/3 of this, or only using 1/3 of the space. So I took 5 DVD cases, and I ended up with only about 1 inch, 3 inches to 1 inch anyways. So what I did was I took the insert out, and I didn't want to destroy my insert just in case. You see those DVD cases, they're kind of a pain. They slip all over the place. Didn't want to destroy my insert in case I wanted to go back to the old system. So if you take it out like this, you can see that they just kind of have a light fold here where the spine is. So what I did was I took that fold and just strengthened the fold. Let me do it on this direction. Strengthened the fold a little bit, and I tried to do it so that I'm making the spine a tiny bit bigger, and then it fits a little better into the case. So just taking that fold and making the spine a tiny bit bigger, and then if I just pinch it together like this, I'm not destroying anything. I can always go back and put it in my DVD case. But there I've got a flat sheet now that I can stick in the envelope here. And then I can just add my stamp set right between so it's protected on both sides, and stick the flap in. And there, look at, for traveling, this is perfect because I'm not using a bookshelf when I'm traveling, so I can just flip through and see all my stamp sets that I want to use for scrapbooking. And I think I'll get used to that for ongoing, because we won't be able to use those spines to see what's on the shelf anymore. But people are finding little bins at Target and stuff where you can just put the little bin on your shelf, and then you can just flip through. And if you have tons and tons of stamp sets, you can like put them, each bin have an alphabet range and have them alphabetical. And what a space savings that's going to be. So kind of looking forward to that. So bittersweet news from Stampin' Up, but I think we'll live. Remember when we used to use wood-mounted stamps? We got used to going to the cling-mounted, and I think we'll get used to this too as well. So hope that you enjoyed that tip for storage. And there's my website if you want to grab anything. And I got to pack up. It's raining now. Hopefully it'll stop raining so I can get my car packed up and I can head out to Camp Judson. So see everybody that's going to be at the retreat, and hope everybody else has a nice week for crafting. Bye.